Let's be clear from the start. Chasing someone does not create attraction, it destroys it. And if you believe that being consistent, always available, and emotionally present is enough to make someone value you, then you are living in a comforting illusion, one that feels safe, but quietly works against you. And the worst part is that deep down, you already know this, because you've felt it happen in your own life, not once, but repeatedly in ways that were impossible to ignore. You felt interest fade the more you tried. You felt respect weaken the more you explained yourself. You felt someone pull away, not when you became distant, but when you became too easy to access, too predictable, too emotionally available. And if you pause for a moment and reflect honestly, you'll realize this pattern didn't happen once. It happened again and again, even when your intentions were pure. You were taught the opposite. You were taught that effort creates love, that communication fixes everything, and that if you show enough care, patience, and consistency, eventually you'll be chosen. But reality does not work that way. People do not desire what they can always have. They desire what makes them feel something. And familiarity, no matter how sincere, rarely makes anyone feel anything at all. This is the part most people never question. And because they don't, they repeat the same emotional mistakes for years without understanding why nothing changes. Human nature is not built to respond to abundance. It is built to respond to contrast, and this is something psychologists and philosophers have understood for centuries. Robert Greene explains in The Laws of Human Nature that people are not drawn to what is stable and predictable. They are drawn to what creates emotional tension, uncertainty, and movement. Because those elements force attention. And once you understand this, you start seeing it everywhere, not just in relationships, but in how people value time, power, and presence. This is where most people fail. They believe attraction is something you can build by adding more messages, more reassurance, more emotional availability, more effort. But attraction does not grow by addition. It grows by subtraction. It grows when something that was once always available is suddenly not, when a familiar pattern breaks, and when the mind is forced to notice what it used to ignore. And if you think back honestly, every time attraction returned in your life, it never came from certainty. It came from distance. Ask yourself this: how many times have you truly missed someone who was always there, always reachable, always consistent? And how many times have you desired something that never left your sight? None. Because the mind adapts quickly, it normalizes presence, it gets bored of consistency, and then it starts taking things for granted. This is not cruelty. This is biology. When someone knows they have full emotional access to you, they stop investing emotionally themselves because there is no risk, no uncertainty, and no emotional tension to sustain desire. And without tension, attraction slowly disappears. This is the moment most people realize something uncomfortable. The problem was never them, it was the dynamic they created. This is why pulling away works. Not because it's a trick or manipulation, but because it restores balance. When you pull away, you remove emotional certainty, and the human mind hates uncertainty more than almost anything else. It starts asking questions it never asked when you were always available. Why did they change? What happened? Am I losing them? And the moment those questions appear, attention returns. In Attached, Amir, Levine, and Rachel Heller explain that reduced emotional availability activates attachment systems far more powerfully than constant reassurance ever could. In other words, absence speaks louder than effort ever will. Chasing sends a silent message, and that message is simple: I will stay no matter what you do. Pulling away sends no message at all, and that silence forces the other person to fill in the meaning themselves, because people don't chase explanations. They chase feelings. Silence creates stronger feelings than words ever could, which is why explaining yourself rarely helps, and why distance often succeeds where communication fails. And if words truly worked, you wouldn't be listening to this right now. In Influence, Robert Cialdini explains scarcity as one of the strongest psychological forces. When something becomes less available, its perceived value increases. Not because it changed, but because access changed. This applies to everything: attention, time, energy, and emotional presence. When you give all of it freely, it loses weight. When you regulate it, it gains power. And this is where attraction quietly returns, without you needing to force anything. Most people are afraid of pulling away because they confuse it with losing. They believe that if they stop trying, they will be forgotten. But here is the uncomfortable truth. If someone only values you when you are present, then they never valued you. They valued access. And access is not attraction. Real attraction survives space, and sometimes it grows inside it. Distance doesn't kill connection. It exposes whether there was any depth to begin with. And that realization alone saves people years of emotional confusion. Robert Greene writes in The Art of Seduction that mystery is not created by doing more. It is created by revealing less. The more you explain, the more predictable you become. The more predictable you become, the less interesting you are. Not because you are unworthy, but because the mind has nothing left to explore. And once curiosity dies, desire follows shortly after. Pulling away is not about disappearing. It is about restraint. It is about not reacting immediately, not over-explaining yourself, and not filling every silence with reassurance. It is about becoming emotionally self-contained. And people are naturally drawn to those who appear complete within themselves, not cold, not detached, simply not dependent. Here is the paradox. The harder you try to secure someone emotionally, the less secure they feel around you, because neediness creates pressure, and pressure kills attraction. But when you stop chasing, stop asking for clarity, and stop trying to control outcomes, something shifts. The dynamic equalizes, and suddenly the other person starts leaning in. Not because you force them, but because the emotional weight has shifted back onto them. Viktor Frankl wrote in Man's Search for Meaning that the more you chase something directly, the more it escapes you. Fulfillment, love, and meaning emerge as side effects, not as objects you can grab. Attraction works the same way. It is a response, not a reward. Pulling away also does something important for you. It restores dignity, breaks emotional over-attachment, and gives clarity. Because when you stop chasing, you stop projecting fantasies and start seeing reality. And that clarity alone already puts you in a position of strength. So remember this: chasing kills attraction. Distance creates it. Not distance born from games or manipulation, but distance born from self-respect, boundaries, and the understanding that your presence has value and does not need to be constantly proven. And if someone steps forward when you pull away, you know attraction was there. If they disappear, you know you were holding on to something that was never meant to stay. And that understanding, more than any strategy, is what finally puts you back in control. If this resonated, sit with it. Don't rush to act, because if you truly understand the power of silence, you already know this: sometimes the strongest move is knowing when to step back.